Welcome to Paddling Adventures Radio. I'm Sean Rowley, and with me is Derek Spesh.
Hello.
Derek.
Good day, sir.
Things going well?
Going very well.
Yeah, been a good week?
It has been. It's been very good. It's get rolling into the new year. I'm trying to fit together all my little plans and starting to think about doing some renovations on the house. I've waited a bit, and now I'm ready to start breaking ground.
House ain't going nowhere?
Nope, no, it's not.
Were you not planning, going on one of those, river cruises this year?
Not that I know of.
Through, Germany and whatnot?
We had thought about it, but, I don't see that coming up anytime soon.
Yeah, so no stealing of a big boat then?
No. Those things are expensive.
I know!
No, I mean just the tour, not the boat. I'm not going to buy a boat.
Well, that's why I said you go over and you steal it. You're just not working with me here, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's we have been thinking about that for a couple of years. I do have relatives over in Germany, so just be nice to a friend from work. She is just came back from a tour. She did a castle tour, a bakery tour, they did all kinds of stuff all through Germany.
A bakery tour.
Yeah, she did some hands-on baking. It was like a how to bake in German style thing. I don't know. I can't remember what it was called.
There's already bakers there. Why waste your time? Just buy the baked goods and eat it.
It was a thing to do with her daughter.
Okay, whatever.
It was a mother-daughter bonding experience. But it was pretty cool to just see all the stuff that they did. They did a bit of a boat tour. They did the castle tour. There's a couple of the castles that I've always wanted to go check out. And anyways, it's still
in the cars further down the road.
Down the road. Probably when I'm too old and decrepit to move anymore.
Your kids will go with you and just wheel you around in your wheelchair.
Push me around, son.
Oops. Dad fell over.
Dad went down that
third time. Man, I can't believe you can still swim.
Fell off the boat again.
Third time's a charm. Cross fingers. So just paddling stuff this year then?
Yes, just paddling stuff. So yeah, we're trying to decide between Killarney and Temagami. We do want to get up to what's it called? Right across from way to the west.
BC?
Yeah, not that far. Ontario.
Way to the where? Quetico?
Quetico. That's it. I had Solace in my head, but it's not Solace.
No, Solace is Temagami.
It's north. Yeah. That's Temagami.
Well, if you're going to go Killarney, you'd better be booked. It goes fast.
No, we like booking last minute, and it worked last time.
Killarney, you did get something, didn't you?
We did.
Which was weird.
Yeah, we booked it was like 7 days, 6 nights.
I'll bet you $1 you can't do that again.
A whole dollar?
A whole dollar.
Oh, that's a
wait. Today's $2.
Because we usually look for and watch for cancellations and stuff like that, and it keeps our options open, and it's kind of nice not knowing. Because honestly, if you let's say if you book whatever lake in Algonquin, you're not going to get the site you want anyways. Right?
Well, not necessarily.
Well, I'm not gonna leave at 2 a.m. so I can hit the water at 5:30 so I can be waiting off of somebody's site, staring at them, waiting for them to leave.
I don't stare at them.
Just run through the woods making bear noises
and throwing pine cones like a giant squirrel, a giant nude squirrel.
And what I do like about Killarney is that you're booking a specific site.
Yeah, see, I don't like that.
I
still don't like that.
We were very worried about it because you didn't know what you're getting. But in the end, most sites they're all adequate, and some are better.
I don't want adequate. I want fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, this place is so
adequate. You're set up for disappointment.
Oh, we went to that lake and was just adequate, average.
Oh. But you know what I mean.
It was like the silver medal.
It's not quite the top.
All right. I'm packing my suitcase and leaving.
It wasn't top shelf.
Yeah. No, I don't mind booking the lake, but I don't like to know what site I'm getting. I just get there and it gives me an excuse to circle the lake you know what? Yeah, that one looks good. I'll take that one.
I do like that, and it's best if it's like early season or very late season. Like if you're going to be circling a lake in like July, you better circle it quick and early because the sites are get taken up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. People get off the water too early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely.
Enjoy the day. Take your time.
Uh-huh.
So that I can get off the water early and take that site.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
I wonder if Algonquin's going to head that way for individual sites.
Well, Kevin Callan says there's a lot of changes coming.
Yeah?
Yeah. So he wrote for Explore magazine, he wrote a blog talking about the Ontario parks anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he says there's apparently more things coming.
He's
the guy. He's gonna.
There's a lot of changes in the last couple of years, so you can see that they're, instead of like crashing on everybody, you can see that they've got long-term plans. There's some changes coming, and there's lots of hints and whatever. And so, like, I think the first thing that I noticed was doesn't matter how many people are going, it's $47 a night for that campsite.
Mm-hmm.
What? And so
that was a few years back.
Yes, and people are like, but I'm a solo paddler.
Yeah. It totally screws over solo paddlers.
It does.
It really does.
It is unfortunate, but it does. I don't know. It kind of streamlines the process or whatever. I don't know.
You know what?
I don't know.
I said it when that all came out. If you can't get some 10-year-old kid to do your program, because every 10-year-old kid can do something.
Yeah,
that
they
simple.
can all program this.
How many people? One. That amount.
Exactly.
How many people? 3 or more?
Yeah.
That amount.
Yeah.
Oh my God! It's so simple to
for
write
them
code
to
like
struggle
that.
with it. I think what it is in the end, that I think there's a lot of, maybe they're finding there's a lot of solo paddlers and they're like, hey, we're not making enough. I don't know. That's a guess.
I'd rather have solo paddlers out there than large groups.
Oh yeah, less damage to the environment, but they're almost discouraging solo paddlers. It's like, because you're like, honestly, like $47, $48 a night for a campsite. Like, I remember not too long ago when you find a Motel 6 hotel room for like $55, $60 a night, right? That's not that long ago.
Nope.
And so now it's like, oh wow, the campsites are catching up to the hotels and motels.
Well, I mean, that used to be the big deal. Let's all go camping because it's cheaper.
It's a cheaper form.
Especially, I mean, there were 6 of us in my family.
Yeah, and let's be honest, there's not a lot of maintenance going on in these campsites.
No. The backcountry sites, no.
Yeah.
No, I park my car for the week and then everything's all me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just providing a space.
Exactly.
Like, there's no amenities.
Yeah,
you got to cut your own firewood. You got to start your own fire. The fire pit's there, and half the time it's destroyed.
Yeah, you have to clean up.
Half the time you're cleaning up.
Yeah, you're cleaning up. You're straightening out the campsite. It's like, I can't believe people did this to the campsite, and it's like, well, they're getting high value.
Yeah,
they're getting high dollar value, and we're getting low quality value.
Well, and I do know that there are people out there that do not always pay for where they're going.
No, this is true too.
Because the fine is cheaper.
Yeah,
it's cheaper to be fined than to pay for your week's canoe trip.
Okay, we're going down the wrong order here. Let's turn this around.
No, we're not. No, we are not.
We're getting grumpy.
I'm getting
Don't
grumpy.
get me wound up.
Don't get too late. You got me started now, buddy. It's supposed to be a cheap and easy
decompress
vacation thing, and then you're just trying to figure out where all that money is going to come from
you're disconnected, decompressed, relaxing. There's, I do find it relaxing.
I think the majority of people need to get back to those like Dominican and Cuba and stuff vacations.
You guys got to start going.
Everybody, just start going back on those beach vacations again. It's time. COVID's done. Go back.
Give me my park back.
Yeah, give me my park back. Gosh darn it. Oh, you kids, you get down on that plane and you go drink on that beach.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Anyway.
Yes. Anywho.
I tried to go paddling the other day and the river's frozen back over again.
Oh, yeah.
And snow. It was going to be such a nice day to paddle in the snow.
Speaking of frozen over. So Georgian Bay's frozen over, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've paddled there. We've kayaked there. Anyways, some dude is... So the police are doing wellness checks. The community's going out and bringing food. And this grumpy old man is sitting in the middle of Georgian Bay in his, 25, 27-foot sailboat, frozen in. And he's like, go away, leave me alone. When they reported to the police goes, yeah, we're aware of it. We're monitoring the situation. He's going to be there till spring because it's frozen. It's a bright blue.
Does he have a bubbler around it?
No, he's just frozen into the ice out there in the middle of Georgia.
He's probably getting some damage.
He couldn't have a bubbler because he's out in the middle of Georgian Bay. He's offshore, frozen in the ice.
Well, would the bubbler not hook up to his boat and just hang over and bubble around it?
And what's going to run it?
Solar power?
I suppose.
Batteries?
I didn't see any solar
Gas?
panels. I didn't see any solar panels.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I used to know people that used to live on the boats year-round down in Liverpool. Sure,
you plug them in and you have the bubbler going to stop the ice from freezing. But no, this guy is frozen in. Well,
is his name Franklin by chance? Shackleton?
So if there's not a lot of ice movement, then it'll be fine. But we'll see what
Georgian
happens.
Bay.
Yeah, I know. Ooh. So, anyways, that just when we're talking about, you said the river is frozen over, that popped into my mind. It's like, oh, that dude that I saw today.
Yeah. So I went out. I think, it's going to be a gorgeous day. It snowed all night. All the trees look beautiful. I'm going to paddle down the river. No, because we had that big cold snap just before.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah. So everything froze, and then now all the snow is on top of the ice. There's a couple spots that were, but you don't want to trust.
You didn't go find a toboggan hill instead to run down with your kayak?
No. No, I was taking my canoe.
Oh, really?
Took my canoe, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. But that gives us time to Google some spots for potential summer trips.
Yes, and we have talked about this location. I'm sure of it. I meant to Google
we mentioned it. Yeah.
I meant to Google it again to find out if my memory was correct. But as I recall, somebody dropped a log off of a cliff, and
I don't think that was here. That was over in Spain or Portugal or something.
So now you talk. I'm
going to talk while you Google. Dude drops log on two kayakers, hits one boat, knocks one out. I think it was the lady got knocked out of the kayak. He was arrested, facing criminal charges. And yeah, but no, I'm sure that was over in Portugal or Spain or Mallorca or something like that.
Huh.
And then there was the orcas stealing rudders off of sailboats.
So So this one is he's arrested for assault after dropping a log onto two kayakers during Nanaimo, BC. Huh.
Apparently it's a thing to do.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're talking along Michigan's Upper Peninsula lies pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. 42 miles of multicolored sandstone cliffs, sea caves, towering rock formations, which await you, the intrepid kayaker. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This isn't your average paddle trip. It's a journey through 500 million years of geological artistry, where every stroke of your paddle reveals another masterpiece sculpted by wind and waves. Now, I believe this is where I think it's the lighthouse.
The lighthouse?
The lighthouse. I think there's a lighthouse there, if I remember correctly.
There would be. Most locations do have lighthouses.
Yeah, no, I think that's why we were talked about this before, because there was a lighthouse.
They're generally situated on shore.
So there's a few spots they talk about when you start looking at them and think, oh, this would be a cool little tour to do. Because if you're not going for a full week, you can do like day trips, right?
Oh, yeah. So when I did look at this, and there's lots of... Did you look at the maps of this area?
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that there's a giant crescent, like a meteor strike?
No.
There is one right near Pritchard Rocks.
Really?
So right near the campground. So anyways, I was looking at campgrounds. I'm thinking, like we could go there, take the family there, and there's a lot of whole bunch of campgrounds right there along on that water shore, the lake shore, and I did find something that looked like a giant ring, because normally when you see a river cut a new path, it makes that half crescent, and then it closes in if the river changes course. You're not going to get that on a lake. So it's a giant crescent on the shore by Pritchard Rocks.
So maybe something happened 5 or 6 years ago.
Aliens landed.
Yeah. Maybe there's a spaceship under there.
Meteor strike 1 million years ago. Who knows?
Awesome.
Anyways, something to look at. But yeah, so I looked at this area for campgrounds. There's a lot of campgrounds. This is a popular area, and it would be really nice to get down there and check it out.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a few of them. Pictured Rocks earned its name from the vibrant mineral stains that paint its cliffs in hues of red, yellow, blue, green, and brown. These colors are nature's graffiti, created by groundwater seeping through cracks, depositing iron, manganese, limonite, and copper. I don't think I've ever heard of limonite before. Result is a 200-foot high natural canvas stretching for miles along Lake Superior's pristine shoreline. There's a couple tours you can take. First one, Secrets of the Miner's Castle tour, 3-hour odyssey. For those seeking a taste of Pictured Rocks magic without committing a full-day excursion, the Miner's Castle tour, that's like... underground miners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Offers a perfect introduction. A 3-hour journey includes over an hour of paddle time, takes you to one of the lakeshore's most iconic formations. As you glide through turquoise waters, your guide will regale you with tales of the area's mining history and geological formations.
In this whole area surrounding Sudbury, in a giant circle, especially the Michigan Upper Peninsula, as well as the up by Pritchard Rocks, there's about 1.5 meters of overburden that has been caused by the meteor strike in Sudbury. And so they've been doing some geological testing and so on. They find that there's a lot of overburden from that meteor strike. So there's a lot of stuff that got puked out of the hole in Sudbury and landed. I know that they talk about a lot in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, but this isn't far from there. You cross Mackinac Island and you see Pritchard Rocks near Sault Ste. Marie. That Sault Ste. Marie's got a lot of overburden as well.
So was that a meteor strike? Well, you figure if there's one in Sudbury, there could have been more along that whole area, right?
But I do know that the whole area has that giant layer, like it's over 1 meter thick, that has covered Michigan's Upper Peninsula and so on, right? Upper Peninsula of Wisconsin near Sault Ste. Marie. So I watch science shows with the kids.
Oh,
right?
You're a sciencey guy.
Well, I want the kids to be interested in stuff. But it's interesting to know about this area and all the stuff that came out of the Sudbury hole.
Yeah. Because that's quite the ways, eh?
It is. It is a ways, but they do talk about Michigan being covered with that overburden.
Makes you wonder how big that strike was.
It had to be massive. And so what they're mining in Sudbury is the meteorite. The giant nickel meteorite.
Copper and... Yeah. Anyway, getting back to what we were talking about an hour ago.
Yeah.
So mining history is that one takes 3-hour little tour to do that.
3-hour tour.
A 3-hour tour. Ooh, that's not good.
I'm nervous about 3-hour tours.
Call down a boat.
I grew up with that show, and how far do you get in 3 hours? Where do they find this abandoned island?
There's actually a theory about the boat they use, how far you could get in 3 hours, and no one was looking for them. Nobody came looking.
Nobody was missing.
Yeah, nobody even knew.
Who wants Gilligan back?
Next up is an ultimate kayak tour, 5 hours of pure wonder. For the truly adventurous, the Ultimate Kayak Tour is a 4 to 5 hour odyssey that showcases the best of pictured rocks, paddling through sea caves carved by millennia of wave action, float beneath towering arches, and marvel at the East Channel Lighthouse perched on Grand Island. The tour's highlight is often Rainbow Cave, where sunlight filtering through mineral-stained rocks creates a mesmerizing kaleidoscope effect. That'd be cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Island, a hidden gem of Lake Superior. While Pictured Rocks gets most of the attention, savvy kayakers know that Grand Island offers equally stunning scenery with a fraction of the crowds. That's what you're looking for. Protected from Lake Superior's notorious winds, the island's shoreline provides calm paddling conditions ideal for beginners and families. After a rain, temporary waterfalls cascade down the island's cliffs, creating an otherworldly paddling experience. That'd be cool.
It's a very beautiful area.
Mm-hmm. Rocks aren't just geological wonders. They're storybooks of Native American lore. Take Lover's Leap, a dramatic arch named after a tragic legend of star-crossed lovers. That's as old as time itself.
I know, eh?
As you paddle beneath its 20-foot span, you can almost hear the whispers of ancient tales carried on the lake breeze.
Why does every cliff have some lover's leap or some
I don't know.
That's
where they used to go park and...
Somebody read about Romeo and Juliet back in the day and says, oh, I bet that happened here.
Yeah. Hey, that looks like a good place. After a day of paddling, refuel with some authentic Upper Peninsula cuisine. The region's Finnish and Scandinavian heritage shines through its dishes like savory meat pies and Finnish pancakes. For a true taste of the North, try a traditional fish boil where white fish caught fresh from Lake Superior is cooked outdoors in a cauldron over an open flame. That's cool. Safety first. While the allure of secret kayaking spots is strong, safety should always be your top priority. Pictured Rocks Kayaking provides ACA-certified guides who know these waters intimately. They'll outfit you with U.S. Coast Guard-approved personal flotation devices and give you a crash course in paddling techniques before you hit the water.
Crash course.
Crash course.
Why do we use that term so often?
I don't know.
Going to give you a crash course and learn how to drive that car. No.
Yeah, no. I'd rather have a don't crash course. Peak season for kayaking the Pictured Rocks runs from May to October, with July and August being the busiest months. For a more serene experience, consider visiting in early June or late September. You know why June? Because that's where all the bugs hang out, Derek.
Yes.
September, exactly. Because everybody's back in school.
Yep.
Weather is still mild, crowds are thinner, and you might catch the spectacular colors of spring wildflowers and autumn foliage.
Foliage.
We've had this conversation.
Foliage.
It's foliage, potato, tomato. As you explore the hidden gems of Pictured Rocks, remember that you're a guest in a fragile ecosystem. Follow the principles of leave no trace, keeping a respectful distance from wildlife and rock formations. By treading lightly, we ensure the future generations can discover the same sense of wonder in these secret kayaking spots. Yes, don't go up to the cliffs and start pulling off chunks.
No.
Which, people, that's a nice color. Let me grab a chunk of that.
And don't push rocks off cliffs.
I don't know why there.
I don't know why people do that.
Yeah.
For one, it's dangerous. And for two...
it's Barron Canyon in Algonquin. Everybody just grabs a rock when they see a giant canyon and let's see how far I can throw
Someone's going to catch a rock in the head someday. And it's really not good. Like, why do you want to try and wreck the environment?
Right?
It's just a rock. Yeah, well, it does damage.
If everybody that came here picked up and threw one rock, that canyon would be full by now.
And you'd have a bunch of fish with concussions.
Right? I wonder how often it happens.
Fish get hit?
Yes.
Is that what you're getting at, or something else?
No, that
how rocks
people get hit with rocks.
Yeah, I imagine it would happen. That woman got hit with a log. In the kayak with a log.
Yeah, but logs are bigger than rocks.
Much bigger.
So he had a better chance.
Well, it depends on the rock.
Well, if you're not throwing it if it's that big, buddy. As you paddle back to shore, the sun dipping low on the horizon, you'll realize that Pictured Rocks has left an indelible mark on your soul. The secret caves you've explored, the legends you've heard, and the untouched beauty you've witnessed will stay with you long after you've left Michigan's Upper Peninsula. This isn't just a kayaking trip, it's a journey of discovery that reminds us of the raw power and artistry of nature. Whether you're an experienced kayaker or a curious beginner, the secret kayaking spots of Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore offer an adventure unlike any other. As you plan your trip to this hidden gem in the Midwest, remember that the true magic lies not just in the destination, but in the journey of discovery itself. Back your sense of wonder, respect for nature, and an open heart, Pictured Rocks is waiting to share its secrets with you.
They're using all their English learning in that paragraph.
Oh, I tell you, that sounds like some massive commercial.
Yeah.
You brought this next one to my attention, the Explore Act.
Yes.
President Joe Biden signed the Expanding Public Lands Outdoor Recreation Experiences Act, or Explore.
Yes. So, yeah, he came out. This is something that he has been prepping for a while now. I guess it was his going away gift type thing. But he has created a new act into law. And it's the key thing from my perspective, or from what I found interesting, because there's a lot of stuff about, like there's rock climbing. You're going to allowed to use permanent anchors, and in certain areas, specific areas, and so there's a lot of protection preserved. Today, he was supposed to announce two. What do you call them? Not two new parks, two national. I want to say national treasures. Good gosh. Anyways, he just announced two more today. It was delayed because of the fires in L.A. He was supposed to announce them in L.A. last week. But anyways, he made those announcements today. And plus, one of the key things that I find interesting about the Explore Act is that it's going to make it easier. We'll get into the nitty-gritty, but basically it's easier for guides and outfitters to get permits, backcountry permits, and book trips for people, right? And so there's a lot of the administrative burdens are gone.
Yeah. So the new legislation rolls a dozen or so existing outdoor recreation related initiatives into one policy, which includes approval of building long-distance bike trails, protection of rock climbing anchors in wilderness areas, more efficient permit processing for guiding companies. The Explore Act is focused on federal public land like national parks, natural forests, areas overseen by the Bureau of Land Management. It directs the various management agencies to improve and develop new parking lots, broadband networks, accessible infrastructure, and restrooms at recreation sites. Also calls for improved coordination between different federal and state agencies to contain the spread of aquatic invasive species like zebra mussels.
That's important.
That's a big one right there, bringing these different groups together to all work together on this sort of stuff, as opposed just to one group saying, hey, yeah, that's your agency, you guys do
exactly. If you can get some collaborations between different agencies and they can work together, then it's not just one voice in the forest, it's the whole forest speaking out. It's like, hey, let's get together, people, let's discuss this. Yeah,
it'll help create more fun all across the country, says Republican Congressman Bruce Westerman of Arkansas, the bill's sponsor. Also, cause for celebration among some segments of the outdoor community, a simpler, more streamlined process for guiding companies to get permits.
And that's the thing I was mentioning.
Several sections of the new law are devoted to increasing access to the outdoors for veterans, young people, disabled people, members of underserved communities. Renews the Every Kid Outdoors Act, a program started under President Obama that grants every fourth grader in the U.S. and their family free entry to all national parks and federal public lands for a year. So if your kid's in grade 4, you can get free access.
Yeah, for a year, for the year that the kid's 4.
And if you plan it properly, and every one of your kids is a year apart.
Yeah, exactly.
In addition to installing broadband at federal recreation sites, the Act directs public land managers to modernize administrative processes, calling on the national parks to develop a Digital America, the Beautiful Pass. It also introduces a pilot program to improve the accuracy of visitation data, particularly for historical, hard-to-document activities such as dispersed camping.
Dispersed camping?
Mm-hmm. The passage of the Explore Act will supercharge the outdoor recreation industry and is a victory for our economy and communities, our quality of life, and our shared connection with the outdoors, Jessica Wall-Turner, president of Outdoor Recreation Roundtable, says. By advancing the transformative legislation, Congress has shown its commitment to ensuring every American has access to world-class outdoor experiences from our backyard to the backcountry, while supporting the businesses, workers, and communities who make those experiences possible.
So I kind of got hung up on dispersed camping there, but that's just basically camping in natural areas outside of designated campgrounds. Mm-hmm. So I had never heard it called that before.
Oh, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they all disperse.
Yeah,
you go that way. You go that way. Yeah.
It's not designated campsites. You're just off in the wild.
Yeah. Hanging out somewhere. The new legislation has bipartisan support in both chambers of Congress. Outdoor policy has become a common ground for lawmakers and advocates from both parties, like the bipartisan grassroots opposition that sprung up against a plan to build golf courses and hotels in several Florida state parks this summer. You knew about that one, and I hadn't heard about that one.
Yeah, I'd heard about that.
Yeah.
I keep my ear to the ground.
That's because you're sleeping. President Biden has also designated 7 new national monuments. Is that what you're thinking of? National monuments?
National monuments, yeah. He just created 2 today.
Okay.
Announced them today.
And expanding others during his term in 2022, he reestablished the Federal Interagency Council on Outdoor Recreation, FICOR, a group dedicated to making the outdoors more accessible to a greater number of people. The America the Beautiful initiative boosted conservation efforts across government agencies, and his administration frequently engaged with tribal partners in decision-making about their ancestral lands. Sounds good.
It is, and it's bipartisan. It's good. It's good across the country. I really like that they're making these movements, and it's not like they're taking away prime industrial lands and stuff like that. It's just areas that are currently untarnished, right? So they're just preserving them.
Yeah, and hopefully they stay that way.
Yeah, we'll see.
With the next,
we'll see.
Yeah. Because we know what happened last time.
Exactly.
Anywho, so like I say, the whole purpose is purely recreation.
It'll help the tourism industry. There's a lot of areas that they do rely heavily on tourism dollars to, supply the local populations with income, right? So a lot of areas are grown up around, like if you have an old mining community and the mine shut down, it's like the people that do stay there, it's like, how are we gonna survive? Well, let's start doing white water. Let's start doing kayaking, canoeing, fishing, so we can protect our riparian area spaces, and this will help protect it and put it into law
and get people out there more too.
Exactly, it brings an awareness to it and highlights it, so people can go, oh, I never knew about that spot. Now I got to go.
Yeah, there's too many of those. Too many of the I gotta goes to check that spot out.
Yeah, so it's good that we're creating more of them, or they are creating more of them. Everybody should create more of them. It's just there's a lot more interest in getting out. Ever since COVID, there's a renewed interest that hasn't been around since like the 60s and 70s with people getting out into outdoor spaces.
Yeah, those were called hippies.
Yes, they were. They were hippies.
And where are the hippies now?
They are now boomers.
Right? Yeah, they're all working on Wall Street.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about REI and MEC. REI. More than 400 employees will lose their jobs as REI closes its experiences program, ending the adventure, travel, and outdoor education programs that have been a part of the retailer's identity for 40 years. Decision will result in 438 layoffs for 180 full-time employees, 248 part-time guides, as the company shifts focus to its core business. Retail chain cited ongoing financial challenges as the reason for ending the program. Experiences include adventure travel, day tours, and outdoor classes.
I think if you're to predict the death of certain industries and so on, I think it's a natural progression. I think in this day and age when people can Google anything, or they get on bulletin boards or get on chat groups or bulletin boards, look at me talking late 90s.
Hello, Derek. Yeah, this is the new millennium.
You know what I mean. But people are self-educating now, and there's a lot of information out there that wasn't available back then when these kind of programs were created, right?
Yeah.
And so people are kind of moving away from these catered custom outdoor classes and tours and adventure travel. There's still a lot of it, but it really depends on location. It's all about location.
And you've also got to look at how much of your client base is using it.
Exactly.
So in a message to employees, President and CEO Eric Artz said, the experiences business has been operating at a loss, serving only 40,000 customers in 2024, less than 0.4% of REI's total customer base.
Yeah, so and this is something that we've talked about a lot more people are out using the backcountry, camping, canoeing, whatever they're doing, they're getting out, but they're doing it on their own.
Yeah.
They're not relying on these services that REI had been supplying.
The reality is a thriving co-op requires a sustainable economic model. Even at its peak in 2019, our best year for experiences, the business did not generate a profit.
Oh, wow. Even in the best year.
Yeah. Artz thanked the experiences team for their contribution over the years. You have brilliantly educated and created wonderful experience for nearly 1 million people. The decision is not a reflection of your work, but necessity for the co-op's future. If you're constantly running at a loss,
yeah,
it's
hard to justify it.
You got to cut bait and run.
And
right?
I think they saw the swell of people using backcountry since COVID. But if your numbers still are not paying, if you can't pay for a service, it's really hard to justify.
Yeah. Despite ending experiences, Artz says REI remains committed to outdoor education and community engagement. A small team will explore innovative ways to deliver classes and build local connections in 2025. So even though they're ending this, they're thinking of different ways to keep
paring it down, making it more targeted.
Yeah. Or things that are closer to free.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
If we can get it for free, we'll offer it at free or a lower price sort of thing, right? So that's always good. Now up here, Mountain Equipment Company, I keep wanting to call it co-op.
It used to be. So when they
sold it 5 years ago,
2020, and I think that's when it became company instead of co-op, because it was originally the Mountain Equipment Co-op.
Yeah, it's no longer a co-op.
Yeah, and now it's a Mountain Equipment Company.
MEC is in the process of being sold again, but the deal has not been finalized or officially announced. Canadian retailer notifies suppliers of the sale in an email on December 27th. The new buyer is yet to be disclosed, but will be announced once the sale is completed. The association says the transaction is expected to be finalized by the end of January or by the beginning of February. So you start looking at everything about trying to find information on this. It's very
sparse.
They're
not talking.
And anybody that's talking about it is just like the Reddit rumor groups and stuff like
it's
that.
Just
so
people throwing stuff.
There is no real, a lot of guessing.
Yeah.
Sale comes after MEC was acquired by LA-based company Kingswood Capital Management in 2020. Time of the sale, the company was Canada's largest co-op by membership, sporting more than 3.5 million members, though only a small number are active shoppers. I'll be honest. I've been a member of theirs for Forever. Forever, yeah.
And
but once Sail
it's
opened,
one and done.
Yeah.
It's a lifetime membership when you buy it.
Once Sail opened and was 5 minutes from my house as opposed to an hour.
Changes things, eh?
And their pricing was the exact same thing, and they were selling pretty much the exact same thing. I'm not going downtown Toronto, pay for parking.
Yeah.
And my truck doesn't even fit in the parking spot. The one I was going to.
Yeah.
Taking, the subway and the GO train and the everything else, streetcars to get to where you're going, just to look around and maybe not buy anything. Right? When I can go 5 minutes down the road and find everything I need in a massive...
I've yet to make it to the new MEC.
It's small.
Yeah.
And kind of
It was the old
sparse.
Michaels, right? It was the old Michaels.
Michaels or Bed Bath & Beyond or something like that. One of them, yeah. So I check out... Because it's like 2 minutes from Sail.
Yeah.
So I'll check out
Very
both
close.
of them. Right? Actually, the lube I got for my dry suit zipper...
That stuff right there.
Yeah. I got it at Mech in Whitby. The new that's the first thing I bought at Mech Whitby.
Okay.
Was lube.
Zipper lube.
One supplier to Mech said that the news of the sale comes as no surprise. According to the supplier, the company has not paid its invoices in months and is currently on hold in their credit department. According to the association, Mech will be providing suppliers an update on its delayed payments once the sale has gone through. In an initial statement, Mech says it is aware of some rumors regarding the sale, but there's currently no news to share. So a lot of it's just guessing and hinting. And
MEC themselves, we're aware of the rumors.
Yeah.
Well, can you say anything? Oh, no, we can't talk about it.
I can neither confirm nor deny that we started them. Anyway, so you get REI and Mech. I mean, REI is going to stay in business, but its experiences program's ending.
Tightening things up.
Mech is being sold again. Maybe they need to tighten things up. Like I say, it's hard to find good info on this one.
Yeah.
But
and hopefully, so time and time again, you hear about a company like they would buy a competitor and chop them up, close them down, because it's a competitor. And so you're not really a monopoly if you buy a competitor and shut them down. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's, again, I'm starting rumor now. So, but you got to wonder, like, because they are not saying anything, what is the future plan for MEC? They've got a lot of money in stock and in their retail, and they got their own brand. And there's I don't know how many stores across Canada. There's probably at least 25 across Canada.
27.
27. And there's what, 1, 2,
plus
3,
there's
4.
a new one. 20. Is that 28
there's
now? I guess?
5 in Ontario or more.
Yeah. Vancouver's head office.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting we'll keep our ears to the ground, but it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to announce in the next couple of weeks to let us know what the future of MEC is.
Whoever taking it over has to have deep pockets and massive organizational skills.
Until sale came along, all of my outdoor dollars were going into MEC.
Yeah.
I would make trips. I would take the train downtown Toronto and go shopping and spend my hundreds or thousands of dollars on stuff. And
I used to get all my rock climbing gear from Mech as well.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, right now, Sail, if you want to do fishing and you want to do camping and you want to do hunting.
They're very basic.
Yeah.
But
if you want really specialized
adventure,
stuff,
if you want to do some mountaineering or something more challenging like mountain biking or rock climbing, or it's very hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas Sail it's almost like the Canadian Tire version of an outdoor store.
Yeah.
So, but it works.
But
a bit more. It does work.
Yeah.
It does work.
Yeah. No, I think maybe Mech at the time was sort of that fill those niche markets.
Yeah.
For stuff. Like I say, we used to go there, grab all our our climbing gear and everything like, because it was realistically the only place around you could get it.
Yeah.
At decent, I say decent prices, but it was an arm and a leg back then. And I mean, it lasts too, right? If you
yes, they had very
buy once, cry once sort of deal.
Nicely built, like the tents and climbing gear and hiking stuff and
boots. My Sea Line bag, I got that.
Very high quality stuff that MAC carries, and like I said, like Sail does have a lot of high quality stuff, but they also have a lot of low quality stuff. Mm-hmm. So, and that's my opinion. I'm sure some people might argue back against me, but that's the way I see it.
Yeah, no, it's all
according to Derek.
It's it's all, I think, pretty much even keel nowadays.
Yeah, everything is kind of blended out. A lot of this, there is a lot of stuff that has been. There's not a lot of quality difference anymore. Like, unless you really buy high end stuff, like sure you can find a $1,000 sleeping bag, but the $150, $200 sleeping bags are pretty high quality too,
and they're going to do you
exactly
right. But I mean, and now as well. Whereas you used to go to Mech and look at a canoe. Yes. Well, now I'm going right up to the Swift, or I'm going up to Nova Craft, or Holy Cow, or I'm going direct.
The middleman. Cut out the middle. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, save yourself a couple dollars anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So there's that as well. Plus there's the online.
Since that hurts everybody.
That just
so a lot of people are going to suppliers, the people who build the product. So that's hurts MEC a little bit. Sail, the opening of Sail, and the widespread use of Sail across the region, that's really hurt MEC sales. And so it's just this. And then the next iteration that comes along is like everybody buys stuff. I remember early on we avoided talking about buying stuff from Amazon just because everybody's like, no, mom and pop, buy mom and pop.
Yeah.
But it's not so simple.
It's not mom and pop anymore.
It's not so cut and dried anymore. It's really hard to compete with a major retailers who sell through Amazon, and it's hard to compete with the overnight shipping.
Right. I can do it from the comfort of my own couch in front of my TV.
Yeah.
I don't have to get out of the house. Until I'm ready to go use that new gear I bought.
I don't buy like clothing stuff. I still go to MEC and Sail for stuff that I want to try on.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to spend $200 on a decent pair of hiking pants and then say, oh, well, this doesn't fit.
Mind you, I went to Sail a couple of years ago because I needed some new like a new rain gear and stuff like that. And they didn't have anything decent.
No.
I ended up going to Mech for clothing.
Yeah, I bought I think it was like 200. It was like 280 on sale for 220, 240. It was a really nice rain jacket. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't hold out the water.
Yeah.
I was soaked inside. It was a trip, one of the trips I did with the boys, and it rained for about 6 hours that day, and I was soaked to the bone. It's like,
I went to Mech, got my gear, and snug as a bug in a rug.
Yeah.
So I guess there are certain things that you're going to get better, but otherwise it's like I say, I can go to Mech and get my jet boil, or I can go to Sail and get my jet boil.
Yeah,
exact same price, exact same thing.
Exactly.
Except I don't need to traipse all the way downtown, or now I can just.
Well, now that MEC is open up closer.
Up here, I've got options.
Yes.
I've got options. Well, hopefully they can stay afloat and keep going. And REI, hopefully there's no cuts other than some trim. You want to see that stuff keep going, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Keeps everybody honest, so to speak. We've been talking a lot about lost skills and stuff like that over the last year or so. But most of it has been in the States and North America, I guess I should say.
Okay.
Estonia. The last of Estonia's master canoe makers.
That's one of those skills that is, like we've seen, National Film Board has Caesar's building Birch Bark. Somebody sent a message to us about a a guy who built a cedar canoe.
Yeah. Oh, the English guy.
Yes.
Oh, why can't I think of his name now? But he was working with somebody that was building one, and they built it and then took it for a little. It's not Paul Kirtley; it's the other guy.
The builder?
No. The guy that was in the video.
Yeah, it's
I'm totally drawing a blank on his name now.
Ray Mears.
Ray Mears
Yes. Bushcraft.
Yeah.
So it's a TV show, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, he has his own TV show. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where did this come from? Michael. Yeah, Michael sent this to us.
Yeah. So it's lost art. A lot of that is lost art, and then the dugout canoes and stuff like that. Well, Estonia.
Mm-hmm.
On a gray morning, Ivar Rukal is scouting for. I got all these red on my copy here because
this is
it's gonna be fun.
This is going to be a lot of mispronunciations.
Not too bad. Scouting for the ideal aspen in the Suma, a vast wilderness area in southwestern Estonia. The aspen is the preferred tree for making habas, or traditional dugout canoe, the art that is now endangered. The ideal tree should have the shape of a pencil, but every tree is perfect in its own way, even if only a few can be used to build the boat, says Mr. Rukal. Some of the trees are covered in black canker, a fungal infection. You can't make a habas out of them, but they are used by woodpeckers to make their nests, so they serve a higher purpose. It's a good way to look at it.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Mr. Rukal is one of the last 5 masters in the Baltic country who make the canoes.
With modern technology, a lot of these old artists, all these old makers, kids aren't learning this skill anymore.
Until the 1960s, it was the conventional means of transportation in the Suma, or land of bogs, region during the spring floods, locally known as the 5th season. You know how we have 4 seasons?
Mm-hmm.
Spring, summer, winter, construction?
Yes.
Their 5th season is the floods, spring floods. Mr. Rukal and Preet Kalev Parts, another habas maker, are the most vocal advocates for preserving the tradition, which is threatened by the making of fiberglass or other modern, often motorized boats.
Exactly.
So the old ways are dying because newer ways, easier to obtain, easier
to build, easier. There's I don't want to say a lot less skill. There's a lot less skill on the part, because a lot of people would build their own canoes back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not like you'd have a big, not like in the early 1800s, you'd have a showroom selling, cedar canvas canoes or whatever, right?
Both Mr. Rukal and Mr. Parts learned their craft from older masters in the early 1990s. Shortly after Estonia gained its independence from the Soviet Union, are now trying to engage the new generation, training young apprentices in habas, building. A skillful wielding of the axe to hollow out the tree is only part of the required expertise and techniques, which also involve expanding the trunk by filling it with water, then hanging it above a carefully controlled fire. And we've seen other countries do that too. Mm-hmm. What is necessary means of transportation in the past has now become an Estonian identity marker. 2021, habas building was inscribed in UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding.
Oh, is that a acronym? LICHNUS. So they've capitalized all the first letters.
Lichnus. No, UNESCO.
Yeah.
It's the intangible cultural heritage.
Exactly.
So now you look at these boats. You look at a dugout canoe.
Yeah, and we talked about dugouts last week.
Yeah, it's long and narrow, but they throw water into it.
Yeah.
And then they get heated rocks and put that in the water.
Yeah.
So the hot water and the steam soften the sides that they can then push them out.
Yes.
And these look like thick, heavy, very stable. The bottom is flat, very stable dugout canoes.
Yes.
You're not portaging this bad boy. You can stand up in it. You can carry a ton of stuff in it.
I guess you're desperate. You could portage it.
When you say you mean you. you and your friends.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool looking. I mean, they're not pretty at all,
but they're practical.
They're practical.
They're transportation.
I mean, when you look at some of the ones that are on the internet there that they're talking about, I'm thinking, could have maybe shaved that down, make it flat, make that nice and smooth, make
pretty that up a bit,
make the gunnels like, even. Yeah. No. When you're looking head on, I mean, when you're dealing with steam and water and hot rocks, nothing's going to be nice and smooth, right? It looks warped a bit.
There's no racing lines on this canoe.
No, not at all. You throw this bad boy in a wind tunnel, it's not winning. You're going back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
But what got me about this was there's only 5 of them left. 5 master canoe makers left. Such a dying art.
It is. Absolutely is.
But now there is one video I watched where he had a younger guy with him and he's teaching him how to do it. So there are people that want to learn it, right? So hopefully it'll keep going and eventually there'll be more than 5. Because when these 5 pass on, hopefully there's another generation behind them. But if you get a chance to look at it, HAABJAS. Estonian dugout
Habas.
canoes.
The J is silent?
Habas. Yep. So, check that out. Talking about all over the place, we've been seeing a ton of stuff about Greenland lately. I don't know why.
It seems to be a topic of
It seems to be a topic of discussion lately. I don't know what the dealio is, but apparently Greenland's popular. So there's things popping up about Greenland all the time. And I saw this one. Greenland lies between the Arctic and Atlantic Oceans and is the biggest island in the world. Despite being situated around 1,500 miles away, Scotland has a surprising amount of ties to Greenland. Country has been developing its relationship with Arctic countries in recent years through research, higher education, and student and staff exchanges. Meanwhile, back in summer of 2016, 2 brave explorers carried out a record-breaking expedition from Greenland to Scotland. George Bullard and Ollie Hicks. Ollie Hicks is a big name in the long-distance paddling. Journeyed between the 2 destinations in an effort to uncover the mystery behind an ancient myth. I love this sort of thing. According to marine conservation organization the Blue Marine Foundation, an Inuit man appeared on a beach near Aberdeen in 1728. He was dressed in sealskin clothing and was paddling a traditional Greenland skin-on-bone kayak. The man died just 3 days after his arrival, and for many years it was a complete mystery as to how he got to Scotland. Bullard and Hicks set out to discover whether the Inuit man could really have paddled 1,200 nautical miles from Greenland.
Wow.
2 covered the distance in 6 weeks, spending 12 nights out at sea paddling. They traversed icebergs from country to country at freezing deserted islands in order to wait out storms. Speaking to the Blue Marine Foundation shortly after the expedition, Bullard said, "We lived in the kayak, resting and paddling both at the same time, barely an inch above the bitterly cold ocean water. This was black like the inside of a cave and made your hands flinch with every touch."
Oy.
Because you don't know what's down there. It had us questioning what animals could survive in such Arctic temperatures. Dressed in nothing but more than a dry suit and fleece base layer, we battled against the unforgiving ocean weather until after 46 hours of paddling, we arrived on a beach in northwest Iceland. The following 2 weeks consisted of paddling 600 nautical miles between headlands around the north and east coast of Iceland until we reached Neskopstadur. Not only did we pass some of the most majestic fjords and mountains, we also met some incredibly generous and welcoming people before arriving at our last stop on the Icelandic coast. Eventually, the pair crossed from Iceland to the Faroe Islands in the North Atlantic Ocean and onto the Scottish mainland. They stopped over at the uninhabited remote Scottish island of North Rona, where they were forced to collect fresh water from their roof and hunt seabirds before finally making their way to the mainland. Bullard added 66 days after leaving the coast of Greenland, we paddled silently into Balnelkiel Bay, Durness of the north coast of Scotland, having done something that conceivably no human had ever done before and which we would never do again. So it is feasible that he did it. It was probably, I would think he had no control.
He had to have gotten lost.
And he just kept paddling until he found something.
Kept paddling for the sunrise. And for the sunrise.
He found something.
Mm-hmm.
Scotland.
Yeah, and it would be a long and grueling trip.
Well, and the fact that he died 3 days later.
Well, he probably had limited food. He was probably exhausted beyond belief. Dehydrated. Yeah, it would be a horrible trip. It would be very difficult. Even in modern times, it was a difficult trip, right? And like, I don't know, like there's consumption for energy and life, and plus all the waste. Like, how do you, and we've talked about this in the past for these cross ocean paddlers and stuff, but if you do it from the confined space of a kayak, it's like, how are you doing that? How are you going to the bathroom?
Well, even just like stretching stretching out.
Oh, I know. Yeah, so it's not like you can stand up and stretch.
No,
it's like you're confined in a kayak,
and he wouldn't have had like the dry suits we have today.
No, exactly.
And they mentioned nothing about weather.
Because I imagine once in a while, if they got really sore, they're wearing a dry suit, they'd just hop out of the kayak and stretch out and float for a bit and relax.
That was almost 300 years ago.
Yeah, that's incredible that he made it from Greenland to...
Purely fluke, I gotta think.
Of course, this is theoretical because they don't know where he came from, but best guess, the way he was dressed and his watercraft, his clothes, and so on, they assume that he came from Greenland or, similar.
If you want more information about the Bullard and Hicks expedition, you can go to Blue Marine Foundation website, bluemarinefoundation.com. They got a little search bar. Just type in Scotland to Greenland, and the article will come up and right there. So that's pretty cool. To find something historical and
then very neat.
Find out. Yeah, for them to say it's not possible. Well, you did it.
Yeah, very difficult, and with modern equipment.
Yeah, strange things have happened.
So, like, you have usually there's limited access to wood. So, partly like bone and skins from like seals and walrus and so on, and so that's your watercraft. And then you got to keep that waterproof. You got to paddle that over a very long distance, and it's cold and. Oh, I can't imagine.
Well, if everybody could do it, they would have had a lot more than just that guy.
Exactly.
Show up, which means it was total fluke that he did it. Yeah. I think it happened.
I think it's fluke. I think he got. Yeah, it's like, where else could he have come from?
Yeah. Last thing I've got here is just go over quickly the upcoming spring outdoor shows.
Oh yes.
We're only 2 weeks away from the Hamilton Adventure Expo, January 25th, Ancaster Fairgrounds. Go to hamiltonadventureexpo.com for all the information. Toronto Outdoor Adventure Show, International Center, February 21st to 23rd. I do believe I'm speaking right now. They got me tentative. The adventure and paddling stage,
the main stage,
which I think is the room now. They're switching things around.
Oh yeah,
so it should be the big room now. On Saturday, some point on Saturday.
So you're just doing it once?
Yeah.
Because usually they'll have you do your presentation twice or 3 times, depending.
No, only the people that have 3 or 4 different things to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah. OutdoorAdventureShow.ca for more information. Quiet Adventure Symposium. Looking forward to that one. East Lansing, Michigan, the MSU Pavilion, March 1st. We'll have our booth set up and we'll be recording people while we're there and chit-chatting with anybody that wants to come and see us. And I say come and see us. Introduce yourself. Say, hey,
Yeah.
We always love to hear from people.
Quick, March 1st.
QuietAdventures.org, March 1st. Woohoo! Canoecopia, unfortunately, I'm not getting to this one.
Neither am I.
Madison, Wisconsin, the Alliant Energy Center, March 7th to 9th. Go to rutabaga.com for more information on that one. So many people go to that one. That's a big one. I've been twice.
I've never been.
You got to go. Next time
Eventually.
we're going. You're going next time.
Yeah.
I think we might go next year.
There you go.
Mind you, we said that this year, but
I know.
Japan didn't exist last year.
Exactly.
Ottawa Outdoor and Adventure Travel Show, Nepean, Ontario, Nepean Sportsplex, April 26th to 29th. Free mission, free parking. Best price ever.
I know. I don't know if they can do it.
AdventureOttawa.ca for more info on that. Hey, I don't care how they do it. If I can go there and not have to pay for parking and not have to pay for entry.
I imagine it's very expensive for vendors. Or they're subsidized by Ottawa. Who knows?
I don't know. All I know is I drive there, I park, I walk in, I see people and things, and then I walk out and I drive home. So that's all I know about that. So those are all coming up soon. Getting ready. I'm excited for paddling season to start already.
Mm-hmm.
What is it in February? The February Blahs, the blues.
Yeah, you tried to bring this up last week too.
I don't know. Remembered what
Cabin
that is.
fever.
Cabin fever. Yeah, it usually happens in February.
Yeah,
but no, I'm all ready. Ready to go.
Somebody reach out if they know what we're talking about, because we don't. Yeah. I don't know how to say it.
That's
in
on
English.
most days we don't.
Yeah, I just don't want to say it in English.
You don't want to say it in English?
I don't know how to say it in English.
You know how to say it in what? Some other language?
Somebody said something today. I saw it somewhere. They said, if you can't think of a word you're trying to say, just say, oh, that word. I don't know how to say it in English. Oh. So instead of sounding like an idiot, you sound a little smarter.
Oh, yeah. I've started on I'm rounding out my diet.
Oh, yeah?
Donuts around.
Yep.
Pizzas around. Burgers around.
Perfect.
I saw that one.
Round.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just ready to get going now. And like I say, now, I mean, ever since I got that dry suit and I can go out all year round.
Things. Yeah, it changes things.
It's just like, what do you mean the river is frozen? Like, come on. But paddling close to home.
Yeah.
Being able to get into the dry suit mostly at home.
Yeah.
And then you just dry. Then you just got to put the top on.
Yeah.
Oh, so much easier. Do you know what it's like when it's like minus 10, 12 or whatever, and you're standing beside your vehicle trying to put on a dry suit?
I used to go do a fair bit of, and now this was on Vancouver Island, but I used to do winter scuba diving, and it was horrendous. Yeah. It was so cold, and so the ocean water is about 3 degrees, the air temperature is about 3 degrees, and your sleet or rain or whatever is like, yeah, this is fun. Why am I doing this?
Woohoo! Go us!
Yeah, and I didn't have a dry suit for scuba diving. I had a wetsuit, so it was. It's hard to get on and off,
but you look sexy in it, I'm sure.
Yeah,
said no one ever.
Exactly.
All right, you got anything else, man?
I do not.
Awesome. Well, if you want to find out more about us, you can find us at paddlingadventuresradio.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can download or stream our episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and all your favorite podcast downloading sites. Or you can just go to the episode page at paddlingadventuresradio.com and you can stream or download all our episodes there. If you enjoy the episode, please share it with friends, family, and fellow paddlers. I want to thank everybody for listening this week. I'm Sean Rowley.
And I'm Derek Specht. We'll see you next time.